Well, after a lot of driving back and forth here in the last week, I'm back home. Had a wonderful holiday season in Texas with my family, and it was an interesting week with my fragrances, to say the least. It's week number 108. We're almost at the end of the year, so stay tuned. Starting off on Sunday, one of my favorites from Parfums de Marly. I still think I rank it number one because it's so strange, it's so different, it's so spicy, and I personally don't know anyone that wears it, so uniqueness for me. That being Parfums de Marly Colognes. That's right. Spicy, a little rubbery, powerful, strange. Definitely a strange fragrance. But I dig that about it. And look, I understand why some people can't stand this fragrance. It's all good for me. This is one that I did sample before I bought. I had a carded sample like 2 years and some change ago, about 2 years ago, and ended up having to have a bottle. This is a tester bottle. This bottle came from Venba Fragrance, which is always down in the links. Link is always down in the description of my videos. It's just it's one that I like to go back to in the winter time because it's a warming fragrance. And it's pretty powerful. And when it comes to these pretty powerful fragrances on my skin, I tend to rock them in the wintertime, unless they're a fresh fragrance that just happens to be powerful. But something like this, built to cut through the cold, and absolutely enjoyed wearing Cologne. Then when I got out the shower that night, it was time for a good shave. And it's been a little while since I used the shave set. I went with the original signature Pour Homme shave set from Zaharoff and Gentleman's Nod. If I could get this to focus, that would be just dandy. Maybe it just does not want to focus. There we go. So this is the aftershave splash, and then of course I gave myself a few sprays of the fragrance. You gotta love the original signature Pour Homme, the base DNA for all the fragrances, oh man, that we have currently. And at the recording of this, I got home late last night and jumped in the shower real quick and gave myself a few sprays of this because the lavender helps me relax. And I actually sprayed this on before bed, but that's for a different week's rotation because we're midweek of the following week. Based on the way things shook out, I wasn't able to get this out in the timely fashion I normally do. But if you haven't tried this combo as a shave set, it's extremely masculine. It's modern day barbershop. A lot more resinous and warm and spicy than a traditional barbershop fragrance, but it has a heavy dose of gorgeous, authentic lavender up top. One that you really should try. Out the shower, I went with Zaharoff Signature Pour Homme Shave Set and a couple sprays of the fragrance. Moving into Monday, I just did a full review of this one. If you haven't checked that video out, make sure to. I will have it either on the end screen or a card that popped up randomly, but underrated little cheapy gem in Azaro Hot Pepper. A very lovely aromatic spicy fragrance with just a touch of sweetness. More on the woody musky side in the dry down. It kind of does its own thing. It'll remind you a little bit of Spice Bomb, but it doesn't really smell like Spice Bomb at the same time. Average performer. This is a solid fragrance that can be found for the $30-ish range. And it's an underrated little gem. Nobody talks about it. If you like spicy fragrances, it's absolutely worthy of giving a whirl and seeing if you enjoy it. I don't know how easy it is to get a sampler or a decant of this, but it's cheap enough that if you really enjoy spicy fragrances and that's your thing, it might be a worthy blind buy for you. Make sure to check out my full review to get, the as detailed of a breakdown as it can be, because it's a more simple fragrance. It's not the most complex designer fragrance out there, obviously, but it is a nice little underrated gem. And during the day, I went with the Azaro Hot Pepper. Then I got the shower. It was 2 nights in a row of Zaharoff fragrances. I went with Signature Rosé. This is still my favorite from the house. For as good as tobacco is, as often as I wear tobacco, spoiler for the next day, this stuff is just special. God, it's so good. It really is. 3 different types of rose. Gorgeous, gorgeous, gorgeous incense. It's a rose incense at its core. There's a sweetness without being too sweet. The oud here just provides a warm wood type of smell without that oudy type of smell. It's not real medicinal or pencil shavings dry or anything like that. It just has this nice warm wood smell. the vanilla bean and the sugar in here, when you see those notes, you would think, oh, it's going to be very sweet. It's not super sweet. It's so well blended. It sticks to my skin. It's one that you'll think faded away, and then as soon as your body heats up, there it is again, projecting. Really, really good stuff. Even if you're not a fan of rose, sample this one. Get a sample from the link below. You need to try Signature Rosé, I'm telling you. Moving into Tuesday, like I said, spoiler for the next day, it was another Zaharoff fragrance, but it was the beloved Signature Tabac. Just like with Rosé, I'm telling you guys, two of the best releases of the year, especially this bad boy right here. This is for everybody. Like I said, I know Rosé is not for everyone, but it's just a gorgeous fragrance that needs to at least be experienced. This is a fragrance that's for everyone. Aromatic, leafy herbal tobacco, well blended and balanced. Sweetness, woods, booziness, smoky touch in the background. It's just such a gorgeous fragrance. Another one, not crazy powerful, above average performance across the board. You know, some people will get 6 or 7 hours. Some people will get 9 or 10 hours. I get somewhere in that 7 to 8 hour range. I'm good with that. That's way more than enough for me. It doesn't wear too heavy that I don't think you can't wear this one. In the heat, just be mindful of your situation and circumstance and be easy on the sprays. But the rest of the year, spray accordingly to how you see fit. This is a gorgeous, 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 slightly drier, earthy and herbal tobacco. Very leafy, if you will, but the aromatics just really, it's not too many aromatic tobaccos out there that I've experienced anyways, and I just think this is top tier when it comes to that stuff. During the day, Signature Tabac. And then when I got out the shower, the entire rest of the week, so we won't even cover it the rest of the way. I just did a full review on this one as well. It's a 90s classic. It is a Zaharoff Chrome. That's right, the original, the base DNA for the countless flankers we've gotten over the years. One of the best crisp shower gel fragrances ever made. This is a 90s classic. Still performs great through all the reformulations it's been through over the years, or that I'm sure it's been through over the years. It's still like a 6 to 8 hour fragrance for pretty much everybody. In the review, I saw the comments, a lot of people were saying they get stellar performance out of this fragrance to this day. I get very good performance as well. And like I said, it's vintage 90s type of stuff. Crisp, metallic, sharp, aquatic, citrusy. It's, like I said, it just smells like the 90s. There's some fragrances that just remind you of the 90s, and this is one of the quintessential fresh fragrances of the 90s that helped set us on the path of the blue style fragrances that we have now, especially the fresher ones. Just a gorgeous, gorgeous fragrance. And the rest of the week out the shower, I went with a Zaharoff Chrome. Moving into Wednesday was a travel day, and I wanted to wear the newest fragrance from Argos. This is Danier from Argos. I've been saying Danae. It's actually pronounced Danier. Interesting, I know. And interesting is a good word for this fragrance, actually. It's a very sensual blonde wood fragrance. Man. God, that stuff is good. It's very unisex. Doesn't lean feminine to me or masculine either way, but it's blonde woods at its core. There's a gorgeous creaminess, this cashmere wood going for it. Adds a smoothness. There's a little bit of a smoky nuance going on here. It's got this sticky sweet, but not too sticky sweet facet to it that kind of peers its head around the corner at the top and sticks around all the way through the dry down. This is a gorgeous fragrance. Another lovely release from Argos. Look at the artwork on the plaque too. Absolutely stunning. This matte finish on the cap with the jewel on the eye. Just fantastic. Absolutely sample worthy. Another one, there's a link with 10% off down below. Get yourself a sample and try this one. See if you deem it worthy. It's available in 100 ml like you see here and 30 ml. But definitely try before you buy. It's pricey, but it's unique and powerful, and presentation is top tier, as you can see, along with all the wonderful things that come along with it, with the pressure sensitive atomizer, glass stoppers, all the new technologies that have been added to the Argos fragrances. Definitely get your nose on this one. You can get yourself a carded sample, and during the day on travel, went with Argos Danier. Moving into Thursday, my first day in Texas. Once we got up, because we got there early in the morning, I drove it straight through, 16-hour drive. Did it coming back too. This is one of the best fresh fragrances I've ever smelled. Elysium Parfum pour Homme. The outrageously expensive freshie. But man, is this stuff good. So freaking good. So good, in fact, that I wore it during the day. We were going to go to dinner that night because we had cooking going on. The next 2 days we were going to be doing a lot of cooking. So let's just go to dinner. We decided to go to Tia Juanita's. It's a lovely fragrance. I mean, a lovely restaurant in Groves, Texas, where my uncle's at, that has a lot of Cajun food. You know, I'm in Colorado. Even though that's Southeast Texas, it's pretty authentic Cajun food over there. And I never get any taste of home out here. So naturally, that's where we wanted to go. If you're ever in Groves, Texas, or the Port Arthur area, go to Tia Juanita's. I'm telling you, it's a treat. Love the atmosphere. The food's incredible. But I had took a shower before we went to dinner, and normally I would wear something different, but I was enjoying wearing this so much I went ahead and wore it again. So it had two different wearings. Once we went to dinner, and man, it's just... I did a full review on this one as well. To hear my full thoughts on it, please check out the review. But the performance is stellar. The scent profile is... I just can't understand somebody not liking this fragrance. I think this is one of those fragrances that pretty much everybody will like. I know there's exceptions to the rule, that there's somebody out there that's not going to get it. Oh, I don't understand the appeal. I get that. So it's not literally everyone will like it, but the vast majority, I would think, would love this fragrance. It is the opening is one of the best I've ever smelled when it comes to fruity citrus. Just one of the best mass appealing fragrances I've ever put my nose on. Make sure to check out my full review during the day. And for dinner that night, Elysium Parfum pour Homme. Moving into Friday, Christmas Eve. So during the day, I actually kept rolling with Elysium Parfum pour Homme. I was just enjoying this fragrance so damn much. It was 3 wearings in a row. You guys know me, especially if you watch these rotations. That don't happen often. I'm really digging a fragrance when I do stuff like that. And this is just my jam. I love it. It's so much better than the Parfum Cologne. But because of the pricing, I would probably go with the Parfum Cologne. But that evening, Christmas Eve with my family is usually our Christmas. So we wore our ugly Christmas sweaters, we did some cooking, all that good stuff, and I went with Amouage Reflection Man. I finally pulled this bad boy out, was smelling myself all night long. This is such a great floral. Any guy that's into floral fragrances, this is at minimum a must try. At minimum. More of a must have if you're a guy that really loves floral fragrances, because this is one of the best men's florals out there. Has been for many years. Super powerful, pricey, sure, it's an Amouage fragrance, but my favorite Middle Eastern brand for sure. I've gotten several bottles from them at this point. In 2022, I plan on continuing to add to my Amouage collection because they're just such stellar fragrances. They really are. The performance is there, the quality is there, the originality is always there. And Nerolian Iris, oh man, white floral dream right here. A little powdery, but not too powdery. Fresh, but not too fresh. Earthy, but not a dirty earthiness, like a earthy floral tone in the heart, if you will. Just absolutely stunning. Was a perfect choice for Christmas Eve. Went with Amouage Reflection Man. Finally on Christmas Day. So I haven't pulled this one out in a while. This is much more of the mass appealing style versus something like Reflection Man. Went with Victor & Rolf Spice Bomb Night Vision Eau de Parfum. This is it's still my favorite in the line, until further notice. You get that touch of Invictus familiarity up top, but this is creamier, denser, spicier, and it's got that nuttiness to it. There's nutty notes, there's pistachio. It really provides this creamy nature, slight bitterness. It's gorgeous. It's super powerful. It's so easy to like. This is such a good fragrance. They took what everybody complained about with Night Vision EDT, which I actually enjoy, and they just made it a better fragrance. Really, they could do away with Night Vision EDT for the most part. I got a bottle, I'm okay. I'll probably never go through it completely, but most people don't care for Night Vision EDT. And now that this came out, this would be the one people would go with because it is such a better version. They really enhanced the scent profile. They increased the performance, and it was already a great performer. It's just a special fragrance to me. Like I said, I bought it upon the day it released from Viktor and Rolf in the US, full retail, zero hesitation. They had a little gift bag and shower gel that came with it. Did the same thing for infrared. Don't regret it. The next Spice Bomb flanker they drop, that's probably going to be a trend with me. If they drop one every year, I'll probably buy it the day it releases in the US at full retail every year because I love the line that much. And for me, Spice Bomb Night Vision EDP is the best of the line. Well, that was this week's rotation for Christmas week. And until next time, do me a real quick favor. Go ahead and like, comment, subscribe. So I do appreciate all the feedback, and I love hearing from you guys. What does your week look like? Let me know down in the comments. What'd you wear for Christmas or Christmas Eve? I mean, I'd love to know what you guys ended up rolling with. I love reading the comments for this video format because it's nice to see what you guys wore. And until next time, I will say, if you get your hands on any of the fragrances I wore, you give them a spray now, might end up thanking me later. Have a good one, guys.
You'll see the difference now. If we change it, you'll know how. Nothing ever stays the same. Once you let it change. It's like a family.